Good morning. I am really sorry about the delay on the starting soon thing and the hanging out on that screen and what have you. We're having a few technical issues. I have a great producer here with me today helping with the lighting, well, lighting coordinator perhaps. Seriously, honestly, I've got some help trying to get the lighting situated because today's a really dark day. And I don't really usually use a whole lot of lighting except what's natural and what I can turn on. So, it's a thing. I apologize for, but I think we got everything sorted. We are showing some delays in some of the feed, and if that's the case, I humbly apologize. Um, just bear with me a minute. The plan this morning is to read an excerpt from Seeds of Revenge, which would be a prequel to the story that I just released in October, and a sequel to my um, original series, written in the time of the original series. I will link in the description below to the first book of the original series, which is permanently free. Please feel free to grab it. There are 3 additional books after that. Um, and I would love to chat with you at any time you decide to talk about it. So, without any further delay than what there already has been, I will go ahead and read. It'll just be a short excerpt. Thanks for the confirmation on the lighting. I really appreciate that. Okay. Um, but really, I've got a section that I think will be fun to read, but it'll be confusing and interesting, I hope. I'm not revealing the first part where she actually escapes, by the way. I'm going to read to a part that I find to be a whole lot of fun. Hey, Walter, how are you? We need the shuttle prepared. I will require you to work with Rattan in my absence. He will need to be trained and to practice his telepathic skills. It appears he has his father's faults, in that he is unable to block out all the voices around him. This would be traumatic for one so young. Indeed. It was for his father as well, Greshna continued. I had hoped to have his training finished from within the capsule to avoid this issue. Because our timetable has changed, I require you to assist him with this. I will fulfill his every need and prepare him for the task ahead. Cecil bowed his head. He made it clear that he understood the honor he was tasked with. This child would eventually be the key to saving the Ven people from their desolation. He was going to be the honored teacher that helped make that possible. Greshna turned her attention to the door as it slid open. A Canaan woman entered. She was elaborately adorned and brought fragrant oils and soft cloths. Mistress, I am here to prepare you for the arrival of your child." Greshna dismissed her with a wave. "I don't need fiction to prepare me." The woman bowed low. "Mistress, it is intended to aid in relaxation and support neural health. It may be helpful later." "As you desire, mistress." The woman lowered her head again and left, taking her oils and supplies. Cecil cautioned, "Do not ignore the skills of a maternal relaxation expert. She may be able to aid you through the process of birthing the child." The blonde-haired Ven woman looked up at the much taller Canaan servant with amusement. "We use surgical relocation processes to deliver a child. As you're aware, this method eliminates any side effects." Cecil said nothing, only bowed. "Check on the activity of the vessel and report to me as the shift ends." "Yes, mistress." The servant exited in silence. Then I ended without an issue, and by lunch the following day they had arrived at the listless, unknown vessel. Greshna entered the bridge of the Canaan ship. "Pull up scans. I want the ship and the surrounding area." Without delay, the captain arranged for the information and projected it on the screen ahead. The large rectangular ship was many levels deep. By her best estimation, Greshna believed it could only hold millions. On one side of the ship was a blue planetary body painted in 4 sections. On the other side was a long rectangular shape with a variety of colors and patterns. None of it fit any information she previously knew. What held her attention was that 500,000 life signs were confirmed on the vessel. It appeared to be a mix of Tellurian and some other species. Unfortunately, these other species were not previously encountered. Most appeared to be at rest, which was baffling in itself. Greshna ordered, "Count the active life signs and forward them to me on the shuttle. I'm going over to meet them." "Exquisite Tarrant, why would you venture into a vessel when communication options have failed?" Greshna addressed the captain. "Because if people aren't able to communicate by light doesn't mean they can't be spoken to. I've got translators available on my person. Their ship is listless, making the situation optimal for acquisition or alliance." "You question me again, Captain. You'll be assigned to a trash hauler." "Of course, Madame Tarrant. Forgive me." "I'll consider it." Greshna left the bridge without responding to the aches she was enduring. The moment she stepped into the hall and she was alone, her knees seemed to stop her. Her back strain became intense, and her abdomen suddenly tightened. A thin line formed where her lips usually were on her face. "Not now, child. We have work to do." She had several more episodes like this on her way to the shuttle, but each one lessened in severity. Upon the shuttle, she provided instructions to her assigned dignitary. Within a few minutes, she found herself outside of what appeared to be a docking connection on the rectangular ship ahead. With some design considerations, she was able to connect her docking door to the larger vessel and opened appropriately. With limited effort, she overrode the docking doors in the other ship, stepped onto the larger vessel, where she was able to determine the creatures within were much taller than she was. She telepathically projected back to the Canaan ship. "Cecil, look after Ratan. I'm going to move toward the center of activity." Cecil thought his response clearly. "Remain safe, greatness." She took a deep breath and moved through the cavernous halls toward the area that showed the highest concentration of life signs. Step after step, she drew her closer to her destination, but her extra senses were heightened the closer she came. When she could hear the voices, she paused and listened to them both with her ears and telepathically. The first voice she heard, "No, James is in his bedchamber. He re-entered earlier this cycle." Another woman responded, he's the only one who knows the original Earth designs, inside and out. He's needed to help, Jenna. These adjustments need to be made. A man responded to both. We can't wake him for another few years. We can't sit here waiting for his rest period to reach a pause point. We're not moving, the second woman sounded worried. Greshna smiled, stepped around the corner, relieved to be looking at what appeared to be Tellurians. Perhaps I could assist. The trio in the room turned and stared at a very short, very round Ven woman. Who are you? The man questioned. My name is Greshna. I am here to help. We don't really do Christmas. We had such a great time, just relaxing and chilling, Walter. It was so beautiful. If you know Greshna in my first story, you'll understand why the line, my name is Greshna, I am here to help. It's a really good stopping point. She is intensely aware of her surroundings at all times. When you read the next book, you'll see what her help led to. Well, the first book, Ascension, in the Legacy, Xarrok Legacy series. Going to be releasing Seeds of Revenge as my first book of the year. Probably a few minutes after midnight on January 1st if I have my way. It will be first in an ebook form. It is a short story. It isn't very long. But it will be part of a greater collection that includes other stories coming up soon. I am looking forward to starting to release some of the Xarrok bundles too. So tell me, if you're a writer, what are you working on right now? What are you getting ready to release? And what will be your first book of 2020? And if you're a reader, have you picked out your first book for 2020? And if not, what's on your short list? I'm always open for suggestions. Good reading is always a wonderful thing to have. Well, this also isn't my last live stream for 2020. I will be live streaming on Monday at 9 a.m., which is still 2019. And at that point, I'm hoping to be reading from a friend's book, just to end out the year on a positive note. I'll see you Monday.